Cool. All right, you guys, welcome, welcome. So we are just waiting for people to trickle in. I am going to share my screen. In the chat, can you guys hear me? Let me turn off Bluetooth. Okay. Okay. All right. So in the chat, if you guys would put where you guys are coming from, what city doth thou reigneth from? And we will get started here soon. Okay. I'm so excited to start today because we are gonna stop people pleasing. Okay. All right. Okay. Setting this up. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Welcome again, everybody. We are just waiting for people to trickle in. So if you guys would put into the chat where you guys are coming from and what you're looking forward to working on today for as far as people pleasing goes. So what's one thing you want to detox in particular? Are you the type of person who likes to say yes when you want to say no? Are you the type of person who just avoids conflict and you're just like, oh, like I'm just gonna avoid this altogether? Or what is the sauce? What's going on here? Okay. Alrighty. This is also my first time going TikTok live, so I am a little nervous. Got the goosies all over my bodies. So just a little nervous and excited all at the same time. All right. So let's see. I'm going to stop my screen share for just a second. Okay. Alrighty. Making sure everyone who wanted to be here is here. Okay. All right, let's get started. So, welcome again. All right, so hello everybody. Hello TikTok Live. So we are doing a people pleaser detox. Now, I like to hybrid these ideas because I think it's so important I'm not showing my screen. Okay. For my TikTok Live people, I am going to share the link to this workshop, to this detox, after the presentation. So I'll give you guys those details so you guys can have access to it because I didn't really know how to put that into TikTok Live. Okay, so when we're thinking about people pleasing, right? I want you guys to think about something, an example. If you can think of a really concrete example of where you have found yourself to be people pleasing, this is going to help you so much. Let me give you a really good example. So actually today at the gym, So I had 1 hour before the kids club was going to close. And then I was like, crap, like I have 1 hour. I got to make sure I get this done. I had a bunch of people coming up to me and wanting to talk to me or even like give me advice on how I was doing certain movements. And I was like, you know what? I really got to go. I gotta get this workout going on. So this is so important. It's a huge way that we are not in control of our boundaries. Boundaries are one of the best ways to protect your time and your peace. Okay. So here for today's agenda, this is what we're going to be going over. We're going to go over we want to spot a specific example that you are people pleasing. So remember, try really hard to find a way that you are people pleasing. Okay. Really good example where you're saying yes when you want to say no. Okay. And then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to break free from that idea that we have to be a good girl or the nice girl or that we're supposed to be nice or selfless, right? We're trying to break free from that idea, okay? The third thing we're going to do today is reclaim your voice, okay? I want you guys to feel empowered to say no, okay? Saying no is a superpower, okay? I want you guys to really feel empowered when it comes to saying no, okay? The fourth thing I want you guys to do is learn the Baddie Boundaries framework. This is something that I have created in my coaching program to really help you understand how to say no and all the tools to help you in that saying no, okay? And at the end, I'm going to share with you guys how you can go deeper into this work. I'm going to share with you guys something I've created, a 6-week detox of people pleasing, and you guys are going to love it. I'm very excited to share that. Okay, so moving forward. You might be a people pleaser if you say yes, but feel in your body. You apologize for things that aren't your fault. You fear people being mad, disappointed, or distant. You replay convos wishing you'd said less, more, or anything in between, okay? You avoid conflict even when it costs you your peace. Huge, 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 huge. What you're doing essentially is you are saying that whoever's wants and desires are more important than yours. Okay? So, moving forward. So, the cost of people pleasing, okay? What does it cost of you to people please? And all I mean when I say people please, it's kind of in the word, but just to make sure we're defining terms here, people pleasing is saying yes when you want to say no. That's a really simple way. Or even vice versa, when you want to say no, but you're saying yes, or vice versa. Yes, but you want to say no. So a lot of times being nice is our goal, right? Well, I just want to be nice, or oh, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, right? But what does it cost you? It costs you your energy, right? Let's say you're at work and you agreed but didn't want to agree to work overtime or to cover someone else's shift when they were sick, or anything like that. That's a very good example of how it's costing you your energy to people please. You want your boss to think of you in a certain way. And do you see how that's pretty manipulative, right? Not to judge us or to, shame us, but it's just good to know, oh, I'm trying to manipulate or change or alter the way someone is viewing me. That's manipulation, right? It's interesting that word has a negative connotation for the right reasons, but in a way we are trying to manipulate someone to believe we are a certain way, okay? So, mental peace. When we are people pleasing, we're causing our own mental peace, okay? What does that mean? or self-trust or your voice, right? You're not choosing to use your voice to vocalize your wants, needs, and desires. And that erodes your self identity, your self trust, right? Interesting. So we went through all of those. And then this one, you guys, this one hits so close to home, okay? You end up performing instead of connecting. You guys, it is so interesting that I have been drawn to dance. Like dance is an art form. Dance, swipe left to view real time. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm getting little TikTok notifications. Okay. So it is interesting that me personally, I've chosen to use dance as an art form because it's a performance, right? And I love that aspect of it. But there are ways I have found myself to be performing in my life for my friends, for my family, for my communities, my dance communities, my mom communities, my religious communities, right? It is crazy how much we are performing instead of connecting. Hi, James. I see your comment. Hello. Welcome, TikTokers. Hello, hello. Welcome to this amazing transformative workshop. I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I've poured my heart and soul into it, and I can't wait to share. So I want you guys to think for a moment. What have been the costs of being nice in your own life? Okay. I want you guys to think about it just on your own. You could even put it in the chat or in the comments in the TikTok live. Take a moment and really tap into your body, guys. Healing only happens in your body. Okay. So dive into your body. Take a deep breath. This is Take a deep breath. This is a Let's see. I hear myself. I'm going to mute people. Okay. So healing happens in the body, yeah? And when we breathe, when we're breathing, this allows us to tap into the body, okay? So take a nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath out, okay? I want you guys to really focus on a time where you have been people pleasing, okay? Or what has been the cost of being nice in your own life? Maybe it's money. Maybe you lent someone some money and you thought they were going to pay you back because they said they would, but then they never did. Maybe it costed you your energy. Maybe, James has said it costed his money, him time, energy. Absolutely, right? Are there ever any times where you're like, wow, I shouldn't have said that? Or why didn't I say this? Or, we're just kind of like constantly just overly analyzing every conversation because we're supposed to be perfect, right? So interesting to see. I'm going to see these comments here. Okay. So let's move on. So have those ideas in mind of what it's cost you, right? Lots of time, lots of stress, lots of just ways we probably don't want to show up, right? Okay. Where does people pleasing come from? Where is this from? It's a protector part. Okay. This is a lot of comes from a lot of trauma informed care. Okay. Protector parts are ways which we showed up as children to be safe, right? And a lot of times you'll hear the nervous system survival stages, which are fight, flight, freeze, and recently fawn has been added to that collective. And fawning is just people pleasing to protect yourself, right? What does that look like? That could look like just being compliant, just being agreeable, just being easygoing, right? Those are all ways for people pleasing. And it's not a part of your personality at all. I actually think that's very disempowering to believe that it's a part of your personality. It's something that we learned in childhood to avoid punishment, and receive connection, right? Kids are constantly like, am I safe? Am I loved? Right? That's a constant child need. And it was usually maybe modeled by a caregiver and reinforced by gender roles, religion, and culture. Okay, moving on. And if there are any questions along the way, please send them in to me. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. This is one of my favorite tools I've learned from Gabor Mate, and he is a physician who just could not help but notice a trend in body and mind. Like it was like always connected. And it's interesting, his books that he's written, The Body Keeps Score is amazing. Such a good book. But he teaches this breakdown of how you can really pinpoint the pain points of people pleasing. And these questions, so there's 4 questions that he's developed, and they're not aimed at judging you. It's just to bring awareness, right? Like, wow, okay, this is where it comes from. This is like that deeper wound. Ask yourself, remember, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, because the healing happens in the body, right? We want to tune into the body. Where in my life am I not saying no? Okay. And TikTok Live, where in my life am I not saying no when I want to say no? I want to say no, but try to think about that. I think for me in my life, I think I'm not saying no. That's like double negative. Where in my life am I not saying no? And I want to say no. Yeah. I think I could definitely clear up my boundaries with my son's father, right? Especially when it comes to like pickup times and drop off times. I really want to say, no, that's unacceptable. Here's something we can do different, you know? I definitely think I could clean that up quite a bit, actually. So whatever your answer was, if you guys feel comfortable sharing your answer, share it. I want this to be interactive. I'm going to pull people from the Zoom. If you guys on TikTok Live want to join the Zoom, what can I do? Can I add a comment? I'll figure that out later. But for my Zoomies, if you guys want to come on and talk, and we can do a little bit of coaching, let's totally do it. I'd love to do that. So I want to hear where in your life are you not saying no? So what that means is, for the double negatives, because I had to think about that too. Where are you saying yes when you want to say no? Okay. Let's see here. Yes. Okay, so Ebony says that she has a hard time saying no when it comes to work. Oh, so relatable, right? Because that's like a financial piece, right? That's your security. So there's that, again, that survival part of your life is just like, oh my gosh, it's kind of like I got to make sure I'm appeasing everybody, that I'm not on stepping on anybody's toes. That's so relatable, Ebony. I love that. Oh, that's so relatable, Michael. Oh my God. Yeah. So Michael says, when someone wants to hang, but you don't want to hurt their feelings. Oh, so true, right? Because they're your friend, and maybe it's not even them. It's just that you're out of energy, you're tapped for time. You're just like, I just don't want to do anything, right? And I don't want to hurt my friends by their invite. I want to be invited to things, but I don't want to go out at this exact time. Or maybe they hurt your feelings and you're kind of like stewing on how to deal with that, right? It's just a us as humans are so sensitive, right? We're fragile in the best way, but we care. We care a lot, right? And that's kind of the plight of the people pleasers, that we care so much, right? James, he says that when I'm in the middle of a project, I'll allow people to interrupt me. Oh my God, yes. This happened to me just today at the gym, right? I was literally, I mean, this is like gym etiquette 101. I was literally in the middle of a rep and someone was like talking to me and I'm like, hello, like what? Like, no, this is like game time. I'm in the middle of a set. You know how much energy and motivation and like, no, don't interrupt the precious set. I love these examples, you guys. Yeah, I like James's comment. If they're not paying my bills, they don't get priority over how I use my time. That's a funny comment. I like that a lot. Hey, I need some agua. Okay. I'm momming at the same time, y'all. We got this. Okay. So, oh, we have another comment. Okay, yes. So another Ebony, we have another one where it says when it comes to my work and business. Absolutely, you guys. It's crazy because even if for my business owners out there, right? Like your business is your passion, it's your baby, right? Like it's this thing that you're like, oh, I'll just give, 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 and then self-abandon, self-betray. Absolutely. These are such good examples. Okay, we're gonna move on. I want you to ask the next question. Why not? Okay. So, where in your life are you saying yes, but want to say no? And why? I want you to ask the why. Okay. All right. 2 seconds, y'all. I'll be right back. So, I want you to ask the question why. Okay. What are my comments? Why? Why not? Why are we not saying no? When we're so if I'm saying yes to people, so James' example, right? When I'm in the middle of a project, I'll allow people to interrupt me. Interesting, right? And there's a lot of body language that happens with that. If we don't want to be interrupted, we don't give eye contact. We are sideways to where they're talking, right? So open body language is total eye contact, maybe even a little head tilt. And this comes from the book Cues by Vanessa Van Edwards. I love her book, Cues. It's amazing. So when you want to say no with your body, you literally turn sideways, don't give eye contact, and no head nodding. It's crazy the science that goes behind this. People pleasing it's like a nonverbal and verbal communication skill. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay, so why are you not saying no? Tell me. Fear of rejection. Okay, so Michael says, I'm afraid I will get rejected. That's huge. That's huge, right? So if I am afraid I'm going to be rejected if I say no, that makes sense, right? That's that survivor piece in me. We're going to get to this quote, but one of my favorite things that we're going to talk about is when we say no, we're honoring the truth that's here. Love is truth. Fear is lying, right? So if I'm afraid you'll reject me or I'll lose you, that's not love. We're fearing. We're in this like, let me just kind of placate you. And that's not love. That's fear. So I love that you mentioned fear, Michael. That's so wise. Okay. Yeah, James is saying, I think some people can pick up if you're a people pleaser based on your body language. Absolutely, right? So if I'm a people pleaser, which yeah, I've totally been there. So like I'm going to have total open body language, right? And I'm going to be kind of like even a little leaned in, right? Absolutely, 1000%. And this is studied, okay, by Vanessa Van Edwards in her book Cues. Okay, so Ebony says, I'm not saying no because it's my livelihood and my only way of making money. And I haven't been able to feel comfortable passing up opportunities. Oh, this is so good. I love this. Ebony, I'm gonna coach you on this because you're on the Zoom. So this is good. This is so relatable, right? So I can't say no. This is a belief, right? I want you guys to play with the idea that this could not be true, right? This is something you're believing. It's not a fact because it's my livelihood and my only way of making money. Is that true? This is your only way to make money. Not really, right? There's so many ways to make money. But that fear part of us is like, no, no, no. Let's say yes to everything and everyone and every opportunity because what if we lose this job? This is our only way of making money. What if I lose it? What if I don't get these opportunities again? That means I'm ungrateful. I'm not reciprocating. That means I'm selfish. You see it? You see the trend? It's crazy how deep this goes, guys. Thank you, Ebony and James and Michael. You guys are doing amazing at putting comments and these are vulnerable shares. Thank you so much. I know this is a public platform, so thank you, thank you, thank you. I missed some. Okay. Okay, James said, oh, this is a continuation. I think some people can pick up if you're a people pleaser based off your body language and will take advantage of you because your energy is screaming, I'm weak. Interesting. So the energy could be screaming, I'm weak, or maybe it's just, please approve of me. Please approve of me. Am I worthy? Right? Am I worthy? Am I safe? Am I lovable? Please tell me I'm worthy. Do you hear it? Oh my God, like when I even just saying that, it's like tugging at my inner child, right? Because we're humans, we're wired for connection. So it makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense that we're constantly seeking that, but we don't have to. And I'm gonna explain more in a bit. Okay. We're getting really deep, you guys. Thank you so much. These are such vulnerable shares. Okay. What is the cost of not saying no emotionally, physically, and spiritually? We've kind of talked about this earlier on. Please keep chiming in the chat. Um, Emotionally, so what is the cost emotionally, right? We kind of ruminate. Think in that word ruminate, think of like a cow like chewing. It comes from when a cow is chewing and then spits it back out and then chews that again, spits it back out, right? So it's this constant just like regurgitation of like what happened, um kind of this survival victim mindset, right? Like I can't believe this happened, blah, and then you like eat it again, blah. Like, so it's quite an interesting experience. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to ruminate. You get lost. You get lost in rumination. There's no end to whatever it is you're ruminating on. Okay. Physically, physically, guys, we are limited as far as how much energy we have in a day, right? Our best is going to look different from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And isn't it interesting what we're saying yes to is a commitment of physical, emotional, and mental energy, right? So it is so important what you say yes and no to. And we're going to learn about this. We're going to learn how to say yes in a like kind and honest and generous way, right? Like I can't go up like from Michael's example, right? Michael said, I have a hard time saying no when friends invite me out. oh my God, thank you so much for inviting me. Like, I love getting invited to things. I'm spent. I'm so spent today. I can. I'm at zero. But let me know the next time you're coming, right? I reached out to a lot of friends to come to my webinar today. And a lot of them said yes, and a lot of them said no, right? And even when you're told no, this is a great opportunity to be like, oh my God, like, thank you for saying no, right? That's an honest no. Like, I cherish an honest no. Celebrate your friends for saying no. It's so awesome because it's like, wow, they said no to me. And like, that was honest, like, let's cheer our friends on for being honest. Okay. Last question. What do I believe will happen if I do say no? Okay, remember, deep breaths in. When we breathe in, ooh, I got a fan club. So new to me, the TikTok live. So when we take a deep breath in, all that is doing is lowering our cortisol, and it is it's tuning into the body and getting comfortable with what's going on here. Because the healing happens in the body, somewhat in the mind, but mostly in the body, okay? Okay, what do I believe will happen if I say no? So Mike's example with the friends asking him out, and he says no. And he said, I'm afraid I'll be rejected, right? So if I'm afraid I'll be rejected for saying no, what does that mean about me? What do I believe will happen? So if I fear I'll be rejected, what does that mean? Usually, I'll let you guys kind of stew on it a little bit. So if I say, so Ebony's example at work, right? So let's say at her work, they're asking her to stay longer, but she knows she has her son's activity, right? That she has to go to. She committed to that. And then she says yes to it, right? What do I believe will happen if I say no? From what she said in her comments, it sounded like that she'll lose her job, that she's not a good employee or a good partner or a business partner, right? Maybe it goes even a little deeper. If I don't say yes when I want to say no, I'm not good enough, is usually what it boils down to. And if I'm not good enough, then I can't receive love. And that tugs so hard, right? That's that survivor part of us. That's that ego. Ego is just identity with whatever you're thinking and believing, right? So if I believe I'm going to lose my job if I say no, right? That's that fear part of me that's kicking in. Oh, you guys have a lot of comments. Okay. I'm working on that, but I think one part of okay, so this is Chandi. Welcome, Chandi. Welcome here. I am working on that, but I think one part of the what do I believe will happen if I say no is the problem. Maybe. I'll finish your sentence for you. Tell me if I'm wrong. What do I believe will happen if I say no is the problem? Yes, right? What do I believe? If I believe that I have to say yes, it's interesting, right? Because if we don't honor our no's, then how do we honor our yeses too? And then what we want slowly fades, right? So our yes doesn't really mean anything because we keep saying yes when it's not a really honest yes. Chandi, tell me what you might have not finished that sentence. Tell me what you mean at the end. Okay, you guys are chiming in. I love it. Okay, Michael says, then no one wants to hang out, right? Okay, yeah. So if I say no this one time to hang out, I'll never get another hangout opportunity. Oh, this is so good, you guys. We're tapping into scarcity mindsets, yeah? So Ebony said a similar example, right? Like, this is my livelihood, right? My work. If I don't say yes, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose my own, these were her own words, my only source of income. Interesting, right? Interesting how where the brain goes. We're not judging, no judgments here. We have all thought these things, right? All of us have thought these things. It's just interesting to see where the brain takes us when we are wanting to say no, but we say yes. Okay. This is all just for awareness, no judgment. Okay. All right. A few more comments. Okay. This is so fun. I love TikTok Live. You guys are so interactive. Okay. Hey, Mackenzie. Oh, thank you, love. I appreciate those comments. Okay, Chandi, domino effect of not meeting others' expectations, and that builds to a part of fear and lack. Yes, that scarcity piece, right? Absolutely, a domino effect. So if I can't honor my yeses and my nos in one instance, you're right. It absolutely does trickle. Well, if I could say yes to this person and no to this, this is such a good example. Let me share. So in social dancing, right? You'll be dancing, la 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 la, and there'll be like salsa, a salsa song will come on, and salsa songs are like 6 minutes long, Jesus. And you're like, oh, I'm so tired. Oh. And then someone comes up to you after the salsa song, and you just really want to sit down and have a break. And someone's like, hey, would you like to dance? And you're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm really tired. Like, I'm gonna sit with this one out. They are gonna have whatever response they will have. Someone who's insecure might be like, whatever. You're not as good as you think you are, right? Some people have said that to me. Like, whoa. And maybe someone will be like, oh, hey, no worries at all. Like, I'll catch you for the next one, right? It's someone who is already seeking love, approval, appreciation is going to have that insecurity, right? Like, oh, they said no to me because of I'm not a good dancer or whatever, right? But truly, it's just because I'm tired and I want to sit down because I danced for 7 minutes straight. Yeah. So, and then let's say I said no to that person, but then my best friend I haven't seen forever comes in and asks me to dance before they leave and I never see them again. You see what I mean? There's always ways we might be taking something personally. You see it? So keep an open mind. Stay with me. You guys are doing amazing at this chat. Okay, Belinda says, sometimes I feel like the fear of saying no is dependent on how much I cherish the relationship. This is so good. Okay, Belinda, you're tapping into something really beautiful here. So I always like to think about it this way, okay? When it comes to relationships, there's a part of us that wants to show up selfless, self-sacrificing, giving, generous, right? So when we are showing up in that way, that's an honest yes. Do you see it? So Belinda's talking about something, a really interesting dynamic. We do have really intimate, connected relationships, family, partners, business partners, best friends, right? We have these intimate relationships. Now, couple that with, I want to be this version that is giving, generous, kind, maybe gives and takes a little bit more, but that's a honest yes, because that's how you want to show up. Now, Belinda's giving a really good example, right? Let's say you cherish your relationship with your spouse or your partner, right? I cherish that relationship and they're asking me to do something and I just can't, right? Like I was with the kids all day. Or I had a big project at work, a big day. It was horrible. Everyone was yelling at me at work. And I just can't, give you some quality time right now. I'm at 0, right? It's so important to honor that. No, I can't give you what you're asking right now. I can another time. And this is where we come into like communication skills, right? Because absolutely, we definitely want to show up in those generous, kind, giving ways to cherished relationships, like Belinda's saying, but at what cost, right? So I love this. Okay, last one, and then I'm going to move on to the next slide. Okay, Chandi, you said self-identity and creating disappointment, not by other standards, but my own. Oof. Absolutely, Chandi, that is so powerful. When we live life on our terms and in the way that we want to, that's love. right? Because the people who want to stay and you're showing up in your authentic true self, and the people that stay, you see how that's different from, oh, like, will you stay if I give you the quality time even though I'm at 0% energy, right? That's the fawning, right? That's the fawning, the people pleasing versus, you know what? I can't give you that quality time today. I'm so sorry. I can give it to you tomorrow. And then they're like, wow, like she honors her yeses and nos. That means she's going, when she gives to me, it's a true give. It's not a I'm doing it resentfully. And isn't it, have you guys ever felt that from someone? Like when someone gives you quality time or a gift and they're kind of reluctant, right? It feels so gross. You're like, that doesn't feel right. Like I don't want it anymore. Like bad juju, right? And it's so interesting how much better when something is given to us that was an honest yes. It feels so good because it's coming from a place of freedom, not obligation or compliance. Okay? All right, guys, this is an amazing conversation. Good combos. Okay. All righty. Okay. So the fawn response, we keep saying this word fawn. Okay. Fawn is one of the nervous system responses, right? If you guys have ever heard of fight, flight, or freeze, so the fawn is the people pleaser. Yeah. So whoever's my perpetrator or whoever's causing the attention, right? That I'm trying to please them so that I don't get punished or that I'm safe. Okay. So fawning is abandoning me to keep you happy. Okay. If I'm easygoing, lovable, helpful enough, then I'll be safe. But at what cost? I abandoned what was true and authentic for me, for you, right? Okay. All right. It's not your fault, you guys. I always love to coach in a way that's very holistic. Okay. I always just say the honest truth so that we're aware, not to judge, right? Because we all have people pleased. We all have fawned, right? It's the same word. It's never your fault. It was something you picked up in childhood, right? It was safer to fawn to protect yourself. Okay. You're not broken. I don't want you guys thinking there's something wrong with you. Okay. It's just good to know about yourself, right? That you have that tendency to fawn. Okay. Or people please. Interchangeable. So something to be aware of, knowing that you have a tendency to fawn or people please. You learned to please, perform, and avoid conflict because you had to. Yeah. It kept you safe. It made people like you. Interesting. It helped you to survive. How true is that? When we were young and we were told we had to do this or else, right? If you don't listen, you're going to hear from the belt, right? Or la chancla, right? So now you're allowed to choose something new. We're no longer under the control of our caregivers, right? We are out of that situation. And now we have that freedom. We have freedom to choose something totally different. Not because we're wrong, but because we're ready, right? We're ready. We've discussed the costs of people pleasing. We've discussed how much that really can affect us on so many levels, financially, physically, emotionally, energetically, every facet of life it can affect you. Okay. So this is healing, okay? This is healing. This is self-awareness, and we can't fix something that we don't know is a problem, right? Now we're noticing a problem. Okay, I say yes when I want to say no. Interesting, okay? We're not going to judge. We're not going to hate or shame. We're like, okay, that's interesting. I do that. Good to know. Okay. This is the part we were talking about earlier. Love is not people pleasing. Let that sink in. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm behind on my comments. Mackenzie says, when people are genuine, it fills the soul rather than feeding the ego. Ooh, I love that. Absolutely, right? You can tell, we have this sixth sense. And the Vanessa Van Edwards in her book, Cues, she doesn't talk about this in the book, but she's on her podcasts and her interviews. She did a study, you guys, this is going to blow your minds. She did a study where she took sweat from two people, someone who skydived and someone who was just on a treadmill. Okay. Two examples of people who were sweating. Okay. They had over 100 participants smell the sweat and take a guess at who smelled like fear, what fear smelled like. And almost with like 100% accuracy, they could tell which one was skydiving. This is how intuitive we are. It's science backed, but we can't really like put a name to it. A lot of people call it energy, the universe. I mean, you could use religion. I mean, there are so many ways we try to have like that still small voice, or like the Jiminy Cricket, right? It's like there's somehow we know. So might as well tap into that authentic, honest yes, because people know. We're not as good of actors and actresses as we think we are. Yeah? Okay. People pleasing is rooted in fear, like Michael said earlier, right? Michael was saying how much he, when he says no, he's afraid of rejection. That's so relatable. We all do this. We're all afraid of rejection. Yeah. Love is rooted in truth, in safety, and respect. That's love. And if anyone tries to make an argument against that, they're not talking about love. They're confused about what love is. Love is never people pleasing, ever. Here's the difference. Love says, here's who I am. Stay if it's aligned. Leave if it's not. That taps into that fear of abandonment, right? Fear of rejection, like Michael was saying. People pleasing, a people pleaser mindset says, please don't leave me. Please don't leave me. Please don't reject me. Please don't abandon me. Do you hear the difference? Wow. So it's just interesting to kind of take a deep breath and say, okay, what energy am I operating out of? Am I operating out of the emotion and energy of love or fear and people pleasing, right? Fear is the emotion. People pleasing is the action. Okay. All right, my friends. Okay. So I want to take this opportunity to offer some live coaching. Okay. Before we get into the steps of actually, as I'm going into the steps, do this with us. We're going to tap into some group coaching. Okay. So here is how this will be done. Okay. Okay. Let me see. James, are you still with us? Let me see if it will let me. Okay. Okay, hang on. Hang tight for me, guys. Just one moment. Okay. All right. Well, so while I'm waiting, anyone on the Zoom, Sarah or Susie, would you guys like to get some live coaching on the people pleasing we were talking about today? Let's see.
Sure.
Okay, Sarah, welcome. Hi. Okay, so guys, we have Sarah on, and she is, okay, she's live. Okay, all right, you don't have to turn your camera on if you don't want to. Totally fair. Okay, so I'm gonna share the screen just so people can see. Okay, So Sarah, my love, what was an example? Let's go back. What was an example for you where you were like, this part of my life or this area of my life, I feel like I have a hard time saying no. What did that look like for you?
Mostly with family,
Ooh,
um,
that's
because
huge.
the dynamic of not wanting to disappoint. I mean, it's like with strangers or outside a family, it doesn't feel like anything. But then with the family, maybe it's because there's also this like I don't want to call it like a stigma, like, to be supportive and like filial and whatnot, but not really even like for parents or immediate family, but just like even extended relatives and so forth. And when somebody asks us for something or wants something, it becomes I think it's kind of like, oh, we talked about the whole identity part. Like when you start doing something over and over, it becomes part of your identity. But then
Yeah.
when you try to like make that, boundary, like when I try to make a boundary and try to keep that boundary, it's usually the family members who are trying to break that boundary. And I have a really hard time to keep the boundaries in place.
I love this example because we're all part of family members, right? Like that is so relatable. I'm getting a piece of paper because I love honing it in on paper. What example? Give me a specific example. Think of like a holiday. I feel like holidays are perfect because it's like chaos and everyone's trying to make it a perfect Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever you celebrate, right? So, can you think of a really concrete example where they were breaking your boundary, like you said?
Um, so for example, I have a relative who, whenever she needs help, she reaches out to me. And sometimes it can be a little bit taxing because not just because of time or effort. Well, it's really the effort part, relying on me to make appointments or help her with a lot of like certain needs and things like that. Or sometimes even like financially. Um, and I, I had done that because I felt like that was part of my role. And
Mhm.
when I realized that that's not really a role set by my own application or really even by myself, and not even really by anyone, but just this idea of like, so, what society expected of me and so forth and everything like that. And then just kind of like I said, like time just kind of made shift into this thing where like, oh, okay, like if she comes and asks me for something, I have to help. And I did that, and it became a growing practice that now when I try to say, hey, like I think you got this, or like I can't do it, then I'm seeing like, why are you being like this? Like, what happened? What are you doing? Like, what happened? And it becomes this like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just trying to like take care of my own things and my own, responsibilities and so forth. But it becomes again like, then I'm seen as this, like I'm mad at her, or it's like some negative connotation, and I'm like, no, like, and the thing is, because of that negative connotation and spiral, I do get upset, because I'm like, well, now you're making me upset, because even though I'm trying to tell you that like I wasn't upset, now you've made me feel like you're not understanding why I'm getting upset. And and it becomes like this domino effect of, but it's just like one thing feeds into itself. It's like Oreo Borealis or something, like, yeah.
Yeah, the Northern Lights,
Yeah.
like woo.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it just feels so toxic, and I want to get out of it. But then when I try to get out of it, like, again, it just feeds into itself, and I'm like, wait, like I'm not upset, but then now I'm becoming upset, and I feel upset, and I was really trying not to be, and I'm trying to make sure we have like a good, healthy relationship, but I don't know how to make that clear to you.
This is such a good example, okay? So I want to kind of pick one. Let's do the one where she reaches out to you financially, asking you for financial help.
Okay.
Try to think of an exact thing she said. And I want you to pick the one where she was like, where you said no. Pick that scenario where you said no, and then she had this reaction, right? She had this reaction like, What are you mad at me? Like, what did I do? Like, why are you mad at me? Pick that example, and I want you to tell me the exact words she used, okay? We're going to show
Mm,
you guys the power of your brain, both.
yeah, it feels like I'm like trying to pinpoint like the exact parts, and that's another part of myself is that uh I feel like there's all these like, buildup of things, and I'm the type of person who like just kind of goes, okay, fine, it's whatever, like I'm just gonna ignore it, or like forget about it. And
That's
that forgetting about it part, then I forget about it, but it's like I don't really forget. It's like if you get bitten by a bug and you keep itching at the bug bite, and you're like, I
built
don't
a
even know,
scar.
remember why. Yeah, and then but it's
Okay,
just like,
we'll
and the
make it
thing is, it's like
simple.
it's after the fact, but it just keeps then gnawing at you and like bothering you. And
Help you. Let me help you with this, okay?
okay,
Let's simplify it to a T.
okay,
Going to, and I'm going to teach you guys this formula I use called the model. So I'm just putting your mind into a very systemic place, okay?
okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So family member,
Mm-hmm.
right, asks for money.
Mm-hmm.
That simply, right? Like she
Right.
asks for money, okay?
Well, it was more like I had given her money, which she was going to pay back. But when it
Okay.
came to paying back and I asked for it,
Okay.
it's always delivered like, oh, I can't, oh, you understand that, like, I'm trying to, I'll give it to you. And I'm like, okay. And then and I've even expressed like, I hate coming to you and asking for it to be returned back now, but you have given me, like, you had told me, oh, you're going to give it to me by like this date, and then that date just keeps slipping and slipping, and now it's been over a year,
Yeah.
where I'm like, okay, like, and the thing is, again, it's happened in the past and I've let it go,
Hmm.
and but it becomes this habit, and now I'm like, I don't want to just let it go.
Yeah.
And um and that whole like piecing people apart part of it is just like, sometimes and the part of like letting it go came from not wanting to disappoint her, and like, trying to understand her, and I feel like sometimes that part of it is trying to understand where other people are coming from, but I just then get upset of like, why don't you understand where I'm coming from? Or, and would you do this if, or well, how would you be doing if you were in that same place, and so
Yeah.
it kind of like feeds into myself of like that whole identity of, am I creating this role, or am I being like the bad guy? Like, it's just
Yeah.
all this negative talk just kind of overtakes it.
Yes. Um, okay. I'm gonna push you quite a bit.
Okay.
You ready for it?
Okay.
Okay. So you gave her X amount of dollars, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gave her $100, just say, gave her $100. It could be more, right? It could be,
Mm-hmm.
which it sounds
Like
like it might,
3,000.
yeah, amount of dollars, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You gave her X amount of dollars
Mm-hmm.
with the expectation that she would give it back.
Right.
And you said it's been over a year.
Right.
Let's even make it $1,000 just to make the gravitas of what the situation, okay?
Thank you. Uh-huh.
Yes, you gave her $1,000, which is a lot of money, right? That's a
Mm-hmm.
like baby step in Dave Ramsey's like save yourself, right? The good emergency fund, okay?
Yeah.
It's been over 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you thought about that $1,000? Whatever it is, but for the example.
It's been often, and that's the thing. It's like
Give me a number. Give me a number.
initially, huh?
How many times? Just like give me a one number. How many times do you think you've thought about she needs to give me that money? I can't believe she hasn't given me that money. Any kind of thought like that. Give me just like
Oh my gosh, it's been multiple times because it is a really large number.
that.
And
Give me a number though. How many times have you thought about it?
I can say in just the last month, I've thought about it at least like 40 times, 30, 40 times.
Dang. So if we times that by 12 months
Uh-huh.
in the thousands
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
That $1,000 you gave to your family member is now costing you emotional currency. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
So, hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
What's more valuable to you? The $1,000 that keeps costing you money,
Mm-hmm.
or, ooh, okay, sorry. No. Okay, sorry. TikTok is like, it's having me drag a puzzle piece to keep this live. Sorry for the intrusion.
Sorry.
So, the emotional currency. Can you think about that?
Yeah. And that's the hard part, is that emotional currency. Because I'm just like, okay, just like don't think about it, just let it go. You're never gonna get it back. But then when then something else will lead. Like she calls and then she'll be like, oh, like I really wish I was like could do a vacation. Why don't you come and do a vacation? And I'm like,
Mm.
you still owe me money. Like,
I love this. This example is so raw, and everyone has lent people money and can totally relate with you, right? Like, I lent you money, you're not giving it back to me. What the F, right? Like, and now you're going on a trip with it. What? I'm not even allowed to buy toilet paper until you get me money, right? Feel that way, right? So interesting, right? So over 1,000 times, this has
hmm
cost you mental, emotional, physical energy.
hmm
This. What is more valuable to you? And I want you to answer honestly, because this will really be
hmm
challenging. The $1,000 or your peace?
Peace for sure.
Yeah. Is that an honest answer? Because it's okay if it's
Yes.
1,000. I can
It
totally.
it is. It is.
Okay. So, okay. We answered that question. Your peace is more valuable to you.
hmm
What if we thought about it a little bit different? What if we thought, I paid her $1,000, whatever the number
hmm
is, it could be more than that, but we're just saying 1,000.
hmm
Paid her $1,000 to learn the lesson of peace.
For her to learn the lesson or myself to learn the lesson?
You paid her for her to be your teacher. She gave you an opportunity to learn peace.
Uh,
When you when you
okay. I see the shift.
see it, you got
Yeah.
a webinar, you got a master class in how to have peace.
hmm
Can't control an outcome. You
Right.
can't
Okay.
control her.
hmm
You cannot. This is I want you to be empowered. This is why I'm telling you this. We can't control her. We can't control
hmm
money. We can't log into her account and transfer that $1,000. We can't do that. We could, but that's not who we want to be.
No, right.
We don't want to be that way. So
No.
I could stew on this longer and let it just fester and boil and ruin my relationship with her.
hmm
Or I could let her be my teacher and I paid her the $1,000 to teach me how to surrender, to teach me how to have peace when I can't control an outcome.
I think like the other part of that situation is that saying the no part to it, because I already have given her that, but
Yeah.
when she asks for something else, I still don't. It's hard for me to still say no. And right now, because I know, for example, like okay, she owes me 1,000. That's
Yeah.
what I'm, or more, but we'll say 1,000 right now. But because she owes me this amount, I'm like, sometimes, like I said, like because of that frustration, whatnot, maybe that's when I use the no. But when the hard part is like, I'll feel bad about it. And so for example, like her birthday's coming up and she really wanted to do something for her birthday, and she
Yeah.
was asking me to come out, and I almost gave in, and I was just like, okay, but then I was like, no, wait, as you still owe me, like that's gonna be again like more of my money, I need to hold back. And so when it comes to certain things, like, and I feel like after, honestly speak, turning 40, I kind of got into like my fuck it area where I'm like, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll just um
I love it. I love it, Ira. Yes. And
but at the same time, it's trying to the master those skills. It's but I think, like, if I have to shift my viewpoint of, you know that this was like a lesson learned, and not about how, what my viewpoint of her, like, how that plays out into my role or like my identity in a way, like,
yeah.
because then sometimes I feel like I'm like, okay, is she coming to me because she needs me or cares about me, or is it because like I'm an opium ATM? And then that mentality, kind of.
Okay, I want to stop you here. You're giving me such good info. So
Sorry.
let's take let's go back to the $1,000, whatever money it is, but the
Uh-huh.
thousand example we're giving.
Uh-huh.
I want you, tell me if this feels right for you. I want you to set a boundary with her.
Uh-huh.
And here, this is going to set you free and set another boundary. Okay.
Okay.
I want you to open your phone, and I want you to type it in a draft, but send it if it feels authentic for you.
Okay.
Family member, I am no longer going to ask you for the $1,000.
Okay.
I also am asking you to no longer ask me for money ever again.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you
Hmm.
ask me, if you're going to ask me to do something where I'm going to spend money, my answer is going to be no.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I lent you this money and you didn't give it back, and I'm at peace with it now. But you and us and money are a no for me from this point on because of that experience. But do
Mm.
you see how neutral it is? It's very neutral. We're not shaming her. We're just saying facts, right? I lent you this money. You didn't give it to me. My answer is going to be no until I say no or say like, hey, here's $100 for your birthday, right? Do you see how that empowers you?
Yeah, and then at the same time, my heart's like, "Ooh, I don't know how to say that."
Text it.
Okay, okay, I'm writing this down.
Okay.
Thanks, Haley.
Yes. Dear family member,
Mm-hmm.
I am no longer um, putting a debt or whatever. I am no longer requiring you, however you want to say it. I no longer need the $1,000 back. Keep it.
Okay.
Happy birthday. Whatever. Because you said her birthday's coming up, right? Happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Here's $1,000. I don't want it anymore because I'm spent, right? I'm done. I'm done with it. This
Mm-hmm.
taught me something genuinely. Dear family member, I no longer want the $1,000 back. Happy birthday. And I want you to mean it. This is why I want you to make sure it's authentic for you. Because you told me your peace is more valuable than $1,000.
Yeah.
So we have to align action with that.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? And be brave, take that leap. I want to believe this. How much more I'm getting chills saying that. I want to believe that my peace is more valuable than $1,000.
Okay. Yeah.
And maybe there's a part of you that doesn't believe it. That's okay. We'll honor that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to believe
I want to believe.
that my peace is more valuable than $1,000
Peace. Okay. Peace is more valuable.
because it's true, right? It
Mm-hmm.
cost it for the last 12 months. You have thought about it on average 30 to 40 times a month, and some months were higher or lower. God, let's cut the tie. That's like, what is that in emotional currency? $12,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
$1,000
Mm-hmm.
a month, just like thousand, whatever it is, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of money emotionally that you keep regurgitating it, yeah? Dear family member, I no longer want the $1,000 back. Happy birthday. I also no longer want you to ask me for money. If you do, my answer is no.
Okay.
Don't ask. Don't ask me. That's my boundary. She's gonna ask you again, right? That's a
Hmm.
request.
Right.
Requesting, don't ask me for money ever again. And she can still do it. We'll let her. But
Hmm.
she knows now you set a boundary. If you ask, I'm gonna say no. If you ask, I'm gonna say no. So this creates accountability for yourself too.
Okay.
How does that land?
If it lands, um, honestly speaking, so I'm still trying to grasp part of it because I think I have to emotionally just uh, real and kind of like you said, like the deliverance, because in the past I had, she had borrowed money again, hadn't been paying me back, kept saying like I will. It was at that time less than the amount that she owes me now. So for her birthday, and because I usually give her whatever, I said, "Hey, happy birthday. You don't have to pay me back." She was upset at that time because I have always given her wrapped up presents and things like that. And then it was just like, and that's when, that whole thing of, oh, were you upset? Like, I thought, and I was just like, I was trying to help you out. I thought because you couldn't pay me back, here you
Okay.
don't have to pay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you really quick. I'm
Okay.
I'm the family member and you're
Mm-hmm.
you're you, Sarah.
Okay.
Text me or pretend we're having a texting conversation. Okay?
Okay.
People's reaction to our boundary is not our business. I'll say it again. People's reaction to our boundary is not
Okay.
our business.
People's reaction. Okay.
Because, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm living my life to serve you, I
Mm-hmm.
abandon myself. I've abandoned, it's none of my business. My business is what's going on in here. And
Okay.
you know, if I give you money or if any of that, it doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve me well. So we're not going to do this. Okay? So
Okay.
quick, oh my God, we're over time. 15 minutes.
Sorry.
Okay, we'll wrap this up. So let's
Yeah.
do a quick role play.
Okay.
Um, we'll go forward. So go.
Okay. So I'm gonna hey,
Oh, say your line. Say what your boundary is, your new boundary. Oh, did I lose you? Oh no. I lost you, Sarah.
hello.
Oh, there you are.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Um, so I was saying, I am no longer asking you for the money. I want to believe that my peace is more valuable than the money. So I'm no longer going to ask you, but I also no longer want you to ask me again for money, if that's okay.
What the heck? I thought you were my closest family member. Like I'm so upset. I thought I could rely on you. What did I do to deserve this?
I try to help and it didn't work. Um, so I think that going forward it'd just be best if we just, you find other source.
Why are you making this such a big deal? Like I told you I'm gonna pay you back.
But it's already happened multiple times and I don't know how to not break that, it's not changing. And
Yeah,
so something has to change. So I think I need to make that change for us.
beautiful. Yes. Yes. I love this. I want to tweak a little of what you said.
Okay.
You said, if that's okay. Scratch all the way away to Pluto. Okay. It's okay. I'm giving you permission, Sarah, to say no.
Hmm.
No. No more will you ask me for money. If you do, my answer is no. No more. I'm done.
Hmm.
It's okay for me to say no. Say,
Hmm.
say that to yourself. It's
It's
okay.
okay for me to say no.
It's okay for me to say no. One more time.
It's okay for me to say no.
Do you believe it?
I want to. Yeah.
I love that. Very honest. That's very honest. Super honest. Sarah, thank you so much. Tweak your message. Just be super like Ernest Hemingway, like 5 sentences, right? Like, hey, family member, happy birthday. I no longer want the money anymore. Happy birthday. That's your gift, by the way. And and if you ask me for money again, my answer is no. Love you.
Okay.
Love you, Sarah. See, it's neutral. We're not blaming, we're not shaming. We're not telling
Hmm.
her our thought process. We don't have to tell her, I want to believe. No, we believe it in the text message.
Hmm.
Do our own work on the side. In the text message, this is my boundary. It's okay to say no. This is what I want. This is how I'm moving forward.
This is what I want. This is how I'm moving forward. Okay.
Like it? Does that feel empowering?
Yes.
Así, mujer. Yes, let's go.
Yes.
So much, I love. I'm going to meet you really quick. We're going to move forward really fast. So, guys,
Okay.
I'm so sorry. We are running out of time. So, I just want to kind of wrap up here really quick. I'm going to send you guys, if you guys are interested, comment in the TikTok. Well, send me a DM in the TikTok. Send me a DM with your email, and I'm going to send you guys this link to the PowerPoint presentation. Crazy how much we like got far behind, okay? But I love it. I think the live coaching is so helpful. I feel like it's so easy to people please. It really is. We're just so afraid to say no, and it's totally understandable, right? Like Sarah's example was so raw and real. How many times have we borrowed money to a friend or like paid for a lunch and then they just don't reciprocate? Like it feels so yucky. And that's why I want to empower you guys so much. So your next move in a detox, go through those 4 questions that Gabor Mate had and think about this. Like, what area in my life, in work, do I not say no? In my family, in my dating, in my friendships, my own self. We need boundaries for ourselves, right? Like it's crazy, okay? So I want to invite you guys to this new era, right? I want to get, like I gave Sarah permission to say no. I want to give all of you permission to say no, okay? Saying no is one of the most loving thing you can do to others and yourself. It is the most loving word, no, especially when it's honest, right? So I want to invite you to this. If you guys are interested in going in deeper, I've created a people pleaser detox. It's 6 weeks of going in deep. And even, this short time we had with Sarah, right? Like we can dive into one example and unpack so many layers of things we've been taught to believe. Like Sarah believed that it was her role to help this family member, that she had to help this family member. There's so much to unpack there, right? We're going to, in this 6 week series, we're going to break the habit of people pleasing at the root. We're going to learn how to set boundaries, right? And I gave that example with Sarah. There are so many opportunities that we need to set boundaries with these people in our lives. And then we're going to feel safe doing it. See, even Sarah just practicing role model with me, it was hard and it totally makes sense, right? And I appreciate her vulnerability, but it's like, it's so common for us to not feel safe to say no to our own money. What? It's like crazy. It's our money and we get to do what we want with it, right? And we have no obligations, no have tos. No, we're going to break that all together. We're going to practice in real life, get coaching, and build that emotional resilience to trust our inner self, right? When we feel that urge to say no, we do it without hesitation. I want that to be a muscle that we build in this people pleaser detox. Like, I want us to do reps emotionally with our boundaries. Yeah. I want us to get really fit emotionally. So, here's what the program looks like. So it's going to start August 5th. And it's going to be live Zooms. We're going to do live coaching, very similar to what we did here, but go even deeper. Yeah. And you're going to get all the replays, all the tools. And here's what I want you to see. Imagine the version of you that doesn't feel guilty for saying no. Imagine the version of you who can say it without guilt, with love, with understanding. You know, Sarah mentioned that her family member would get mad at her when she would try to set a boundary. We can have compassion. Like, I want you to have this tool set of any aspect of your life that comes up where people are maybe unintentionally saying, breaking a boundary for you. And you're just like, hey, heads up, that's breaking a boundary for me. I love you. And no, that's it. No is a complete sentence. And I really want you guys to believe that. I want no to be your superpower. And in this 6-week course, you're going to learn how to be best friends with the word no. Okay. You're going to be a boundary baddie, and it's not going to feel guilty. Okay. So, this program is not for people who are looking for quick tips and tricks, okay? We're going in deep, yeah? And Sarah did a beautiful job demonstrating vulnerability. Vulnerability is really asking those honest questions and like, there's a part of me that still believes that's true. And I love that she said that because I was like, hey, we still have work to do here. And I don't, this program isn't for people who want a script to avoid discomfort, right? We have to move through it. We have to ask the whys, and then, Sarah was bringing up a bunch of other examples, right? That's perfect. There's so much work to be done. And especially in the realm of people pleasing, right? It's like maintenance. Like when you go to the dentist, you've got to constantly like, I still have to do it, right? Like still have to fine tune those skills. Okay. If you're hoping others will change before you do, yeah, I want you to believe you are in control of your life. I want you to own the decisions that you are making. Yeah. If you're joining this program because you think that you can change everything else outside of you, this isn't going to work, right? I want you to know that you have the capacity to change your life. Okay. And this is for people who are ready to stop shape shifting and start truth speaking, right? We're no longer in performance mode. We are in authentic living mode, okay? So if you guys are ready to join, this is the QR code. If you guys are looking to really take this whole workshop to the next level, I have this QR code here. If you have any questions about it, I'm going to stick around for the next 5 minutes. But thank you guys for coming. I know people pleasing is such a hard topic and it's really charged. And there's so many ways that we did it out of protector parts and out of surviving. And I know this program will help you. I know this program is going to help you understand how to navigate uncomfortable conversations, how to really hold your space physically. You are here for a reason, right? Like you are here to learn, and this is a learning experience. I like to say it's life school, right? This Byron Katie's famous line, like it's life school, and everything that comes into our lives is for a reason, right? And you joined this session because there was something in you that was like, man, like I really do people please a lot, or it's starting to affect my life in these ways. So, um, I really want you guys to know that this program is going to break those patterns. You're going to reclaim your time, your energy, your voice, and stop overgiving to validate your own existence, right? Like we're done doing that. We're done approval seeking. We're ready to transform our relationship with ourselves and the people outside of us. We're done people pleasing. So thank you guys so much. If you guys have questions about the program, I'm going to stick around for a little bit. But thank you again, everyone who participated in the comments. Sorry, I actually haven't been checking the TikTok comment section. But thank you everyone for participating. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Okay. How do I end? Oh, right there. Power off. Okay. Sarah, my love, thank you. Thank you so, so much. Can you hear me?
Thank you.
Thank you, my love. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.